Building a program that will guide multiple projects to achieve program objectives is a craft. A craft that combines planning ability with several other disciplines. Let's try to give a definition. A program is a group of related projects managed in a coordinated way to obtain benefits and control not available from managing them individually. Programs may contain elements of work outside the scope of the discrete projects in the program. A program presupposes some form of coordination, whether small or large, depending on the spatial scale, time horizon, and complexity of the program. The way program management is carried out is also determined by the specific national policy and planning style. Designing a program entails creating both an overall construction plan and a manual with all kinds of operating rules, as well as everything in between, with the understanding that not every possible complication can be anticipated. A program should ideally bring together disparate angles. We want to identify 6 major angles, each of which contains several points of interest required to run the program successfully. First, adapting to a national policy and planning style. Then, the dealing with clients, mostly political clients. 3, the participation angle of actors and stakeholders. The basic program management, and then what we call program refinement, and finally, dealing with uncertainties. In this web lecture, we will focus on the first 3 items. The second web lecture will cover the other 3 issues. First, the planning and policy context. We must be keenly aware that planning characteristics will differ from one country to the next. They are culturally and historically defined and have their own history of doing things, like we do. Different strokes for different folks. One can imagine that planning river regulation may be as diverse as the rivers themselves, given how they differ in their cultural context and meaning. Let me give 3 examples. River regulation will be heavily mediated when the river in question obtains legal rights, such as the Wanganui River in New Zealand, and their planning will focus on single interventions. Programs in a country with a long tradition in river regulation and water management tend to be highly structured and bureaucratic. And third, in a completely different situation, the Kumbh Mela is celebrated every 12 years on the banks of the holy river Ganges, and for 30 days, approximately 1 million people take a religious bath in the river. And the logistics of people takes priority over river regulation works in this large human gathering. The list of examples of these differences could endlessly be extended. All reflect a distinct political and planning style that which will be formative for the program architecture. Differences such as how high is water safety on the national priority list, and what percentage of the gross national product may river basin management reasonably spend? Does the state have perseverance, or does it rely on citizens' goodwill? Is planning legally supported and structured by regulation and law? And are there water safety norms in place, and how do they come about? And what is the administration's capacity? Do third-party experts need to be hired? And finally, is the decision-making centralized or decentralized? And what role does local democracy play? In most cases, one is well advised to construct the program within the current policy and planning style. Well, to force things, sometimes a shock effect may be required. This may work, but it is risky, because an innovative but deviant program could be rejected as a foreign body. Now let us talk about structuring the contact with a political client. River basin and regulation programs with multiple projects typically have large budgets, and a political client, a minister or a parliament, the program serves as an intermediary between politics and the projects. A program needs to be transparent about how taxpayers' money is being spent. As a result, we must strictly arrange ahead of time how to report back to our political client's parliament and incorporate this in the program. The political systems of the world are wildly different, so the way of reporting back may be different too. A yearly or biennial report of the progress is advisable. Budgetary depletion, goals achievement, prognoses, and, if necessary, adjusting the prognosis of the execution dates and the expected total costs. Political feedback must be processed in the program, which should be considered as a living document. Special attention is needed with a political change of the guard, such as after elections. Well, think of swings from the left to the right. It is pivotal to take the new political team aboard the program through information, presentations, field trips, and various projects, and so on. A third aspect that must be covered by the program architecture is giving structure to the way of dealing with participation of locals, other stakeholders, non-governmental organizations and lobby groups. Participation is often regarded troublesome, inconvenient, and impeding optimal solutions in a technocratic and top-down approach. That is an outdated attitude that makes a program vulnerable to public resistance. And a more positive participation approach is that the program can be improved by ensuring that every significant voice is heard. Local knowledge contains a wealth of intelligence that, when internalized, has the potential to significantly improve the project. A framework for embedding participation must be included in the program architecture, making it standard procedure for every project. Questions that must be answered depending on the national policy culture are: where do you position your program on the scale from no participation to co-creation? Who do you want to include? Locals, landowners, people in the neighborhood, stakeholders, NGOs? In which stages of the project do you want to have participation meetings? And finally, do you want general participation or sort the participants to themes? Water safety, nature impact, cultural heritage, logistics, etc. In the next web lecture, we will discuss basic program management, program refinement, and dealing with uncertainties.